If you fly this aircraft like I do, you put a lot of miles on it, a lot of hours on it per year, you're going to want to know how to squeeze some more advanced stuff out of the sim or out of this airplane. So we're going to show you some advanced FMC techniques that you can use in this MD-80. We're going to do a long track speed altitude crossing waypoint. So let's say ATC calls and says, Riptide 5800, I want you to cross 50 miles east of Sayre intersection. You can see Sayre intersections right there on the legs page. So what I want you to do is go to your legs page, just make sure you're on your legs and that's the active. We're going to line select reference waypoint into the scratch pad, which is going to be Sayre. So we're just going to drop down Sayre there. You can see that. And then what we're going to do is it's going to be a slash mark, and they wanted to cross this side of Sayre at 50 miles. So we're going to put a -50, and we're going to drop it in there. Now you could see what just happened. Sayre 06. Now let's get into what that looks like on the plan mode. Make it easier to see. Kind of not, but you can see it puts it right here, 50 nautical miles this side of Sayre. And that's when you would then come to your FMC and you plug in altitude and speed restrictions at that waypoint. Now, I'm not going to execute it. I'm just going to erase it. But that's called a long track speed altitude crossing waypoint. Offset. Now, if you're a Boeing product, and you'll probably know how to do this. It's the same thing in the MD-80 here. So let's do an offset left. So what we're going to do is go to the route page, which we're here now. Okay. And I'm just going to type in L1. That means give me an offset left 1, and then we would drop it in this offset all the way on the bottom here. We wouldn't execute it, but you can see how it goes L1 now, offsetting 1 mile. We won't execute, but I'm just saying 1 mile left of this course. Okay, folks, for the next one, we're going to do a navigation accuracy check. We're going to have to tune to a VOR. We got to go in some VOR reception range, and we're going to be, we could go to Bismarck. Well, let's see if we can get Dickinson. That's a VOR coming up here. 112.9. It is at a high altitude. That's the one we want. So let's tune 112.9er. I'm just going to tune that up here. 112.9er. All right, and let's see if we can get it. It was about 125 miles away, so that's perfect. What we're going to do now is you want to make sure you're within range of a VOR. Then we're going to compare basically what the FMC says versus what we see on the DME, on the VOR. We're going to select ARC mode. All right, so we're going to change this to ARC mode right there. We've manually tuned VOR. It's between about 100 and 130 to 130 nautical miles away. And then we're going to select ARC mode. We've done that. Enter the VOR. Haven't done that, so we're going to go to the fix page here on the FMC, and we're going to type in DIK. That's for Dickinson, and we're going to drop the fix right into there. Okay, now what that's going to do, good. We're going to center the VOR deviation indicator, so that's the next thing we're going to do, which is down here, which is going to come to a course. And we're going to go ahead and center this off of radial. That's what we're doing. It's got to go the other way. Oh, there we go. Pretty good right there as we're crossing. We're not exactly honing in on it. It's going to be offset, so it might sneak out to the left here. Okay. Let's compare the VOR radial and RDMI distance fix with the fixed bearing page. And we're just going to select that. I'll let you know. Okay, I show 112 nautical miles on the DME right there. You see that? And what do we show here? 112 nautical miles on the DME. So that is how you do a navigation accuracy check. We're bang on. All right, 112 nautical miles, 111 nautical miles, 110 nautical miles now. And that is how you do it. Acceptable tolerances, we're looking at plus or minus 4 degrees and plus minus 4 nautical miles. And we have got it. Bearing 79 degrees, 79 degree on the bearing. And so we're looking at 240, 250, what is that, 260 right there? All right, folks, another thing we can do is a step climb calculation if you wanted a step. And I've already done mine just to climb up already. I'm just going to click erase, so let's get rid of that. We're going to go to the cruise page next, and you can see if we wanted to step to 360, what are we looking at? So you'd go descent, cruise page, step to altitude, 360. Let's go 370. Now, I'm not going to step up that high because I'm too heavy. But let's go 370 on a step, and I'll show you if we wanted to step to it, what it would do for us. Wind direction and speed, we would enter the wind direction speed up at that altitude, and you look at wind direction and speed. Right now, active is 240 at 11, but you'd look at your flight plan to see what your winds would be up at that altitude. Look at that flight plan right now at 370. So let's say 241/105. You're going to dump that wind in there. Oops. 241/105. You put the wind in there. Okay. And then you look. It's going to give you 1.9% savings with the step. And when we land, it'll be 11.3 in the tanks. So that's a cool thing you can do. It's just a calculator to help you ascertain, are we good or not? When you check your savings, you say, we're good. So if you're ever running low on gas, that's another thing you can do. Do a little step climb. Anyway, folks, hopefully this helps. There's a couple things we're going to do right now for the descent forecast. What we're going to do there is we're going to go to the descent page or DES page. And you can see forecast page. We're going to select the forecast page. And then we're going to do a few things here. Transition level, we'll check it. It's 18,000. TAI on altitude if required. So if we have a TAI, which is thermal anti-ice, it's basically for engine anti-ice, is it on or off? And probably going to be, let's call that on. So if you did know, you'd probably have, let's say 5,000 feet, we'll kick the anti-ice on here. Let's just say it. So you put 5,000 feet in there, and then altitude, we're looking at winds and separate altitudes. So we look at our flight plan. Your flight plan is going to have that. Depending on the flight plan you're using, I'm using descent winds here. So I'm going to go 300. So we're going to plug in 30, that's 30,000 feet. So at 30,000 feet, we're estimating 35 at 66. All right, this just helps calculate your descent. And then we're going to go ahead down to 240. And we're going to go 350 at 58, or 35 at 58, I'm sorry. 35/58 knots, nice and light. And then again, we'll do 12,000. You could do up to 4 times. Now in this particular case, 120 will give you 12,000. And then we're going to go 32 at 13. And that's about good. And then you're going to throw that in there. What we're going to do is execute that. And what it's going to do is going to calculate the best descent point. Wind direction and speed. We'll go back to the descent page. You can take a look at what we're looking at. Got it? Pretty cool stuff. And that's just some of the advanced stuff you can do. All right, folks, hopefully this helps. Looks like we're getting into some weather here. So thanks for watching. And if you're not a member yet or you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel.